on back to the Cars Garage, where today we're going to be taking a look at the Fan Favorites 4-pack, which is from a series Mattel did back in 2020. And I never actually found any other cars from the series, so this one, pretty much all of them except for Fabulous McQueen, of course, they're all new to me. Now, of course, they're all just variants of characters that Mattel has previously released, but these are some pretty cool variants, so yeah, let's get right into it. Of course, beautiful Fan Favorites logo right there. And this series really just focused on basically the race fans of McQueen and Cruz Ramirez. So it was a pretty cool idea, I guess. I like that it didn't take the traditional route and focus on, you know, Piston Cup racers, because that's kind of what the Fireball Beach Racers series did, and then the Thomasville Racing Legends series, and of course all the T-Rock series back in the day, and then the XRS series as well later on. But this series, yeah, unfortunately a lot of the cars from it ended up getting canceled, and I believe the reasoning for it was because, actually no, I was going to say because they were shifting their factories, but no, that was actually 2 years after that, so I don't really know why Mattel stopped the series. I think it just wasn't selling well, I guess. I don't know if they had a reason. But still, we got a number of pretty cool variants of classic Radiator Springs Townies. Technically, none of the cars from this pack are exclusive to this pack. They were all released as singles as well. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. It's got Mater with this 95 Piston Cup hat. Fabulous McQueen, of course, not too special. A 95 and 51 fan Cruz. Or not Cruz, Maddy McGear, I meant. And then that Dynaco decked out 51 Ramone. I don't know the exact name. We'll take a look once we get onto the back. But it does have a really nice presentation. I like this box. Of course, Maddy McGear down there. It would have been nice if they would have altered her artwork to have that 51 hat as well. But oh well. Nice red and yellow color scheme. It's pretty cool looking. I never found any of these in Canada. Then again, I don't think they really sell extended line series here in Canada, unfortunately. I've never found them, at least. But it's clear that it takes the 2020 style packaging, because it has this, like, I don't know what you call it. I guess just the curved Cars logo. It's weird that it doesn't have the red trim, though, like it usually does. Of course, on the top just says Cars. Nothing too crazy, but it does have a nice presentation. I like this box a lot. The sides are very boring, though. Just says Cars once again. It's gonna be hard to show you the sides. So let's just jump right on to the back. The back is very detailed, though. It looks pretty good. Collect them all, it says. Team 95 and 51 Maddy McGear. That's their proper name, I guess. Team 51 Ramone. And he actually comes with this little motor oil can as well. I forgot about that. And then some of the other ones released as singles. Team 95 Sarge. Team 95 Mater. Team 95 and 51 Sheriff. And then Dynaco Cruz Ramirez with Tool Cart. So yeah, that one's not really any different. It just has the addition of this new tool cart. So that is pretty cool, though, that they released that. And I love the picture they put in the background here. It's kind of a weird one. This is a scene from Cars 1. I think they would have chose a scene from Cars 3, but whatever, still looks good. It's got some pretty interesting looking models here. Like this one, that one's never been released as a die-cast. Only none of these have, I don't think. This one, I feel like he was canceled. I think that one was supposed to be. I forget though, but either way, one thing to point out, Mater's stock image shows him with a different expression, which is kind of weird. I don't know why. Same with Sarge, I don't think that's his real expression. Some of them are Team 95, some of them are Team 51, some of them are just a bit of both. But it's a cool idea, I guess, for a series. Nothing on the base, though. But yeah, I actually got this from an eBay seller for only $13 Canadian. I believe it was from California or something like that, or maybe Texas, I think. I forget. But either way, $13 is an absolute steal for this pack. There was only 3 left. And then, of course, it did come up to $38 with shipping and taxes and stuff, but I don't think that's all that bad, really. Still a pretty good deal for it. Now, these are Vietnam variants, so at least we have a new variant of McQueen to take a look at, but of course, Vietnam variants were never as good. These ones don't look too bad, so without any further ado, let's just open them up and see how they look. Alright, so that packaging sure made it hard to get these cars out of the box, but here they are finally. Of course, we have 4 nice die-cast and the addition of this cool little motor oil accessory, which is definitely nice to include. Mattel, thank you very much. And of course, like I said, all these cars are made from Vietnam, so they're going to be a little bit different from any previous releases. Well, I mean, Fabulous McQueen, all the other ones, I don't know if they were made in China in their single releases. I believe so, though. So technically, these are all new variants, although they look pretty similar to their single releases. And yeah, I believe all of them have been released as singles as well, so none of them are really exclusive to this pack. Even the little motor oil can was included with the single release of Team 51 Ramone. So yeah, not too exciting there, Mattel. You could have added one exclusive car. But, I mean, for me, I don't have really any of them except for Fabulous McQueen, so I don't think it's that bad of a deal. Alright, so let's start off with Team 95 Mater, who of course really is pretty much just normal Mater with the addition of this piston cup hat. He does have a new expression though. I feel like it's mimicking, I don't know, it's not his regular expression, but it certainly mimics one that he's had before. So I don't know if it's completely original. Then again, there's so many Maters, so it's kind of hard to tell. This one actually looks like it's trying to be more like the Chinese variant of Mater. Looks pretty good though. They didn't detail him as much as Thailand does, like with the rust. He still looks pretty plasticky. Like this whole back section here is still plastic, unfortunately. Thailand likes to make it metal, which is nice. But yeah, he doesn't look too bad. He's pretty nicely detailed. Definitely more detailed than your average Chinese release of Mater. And I would say he's a little bit different than his single release, because the single one from this fan favorite series actually had a detachable piston cup hat. And this one didn't even have to assemble, it was already on, so kind of interesting there. And you can take a look at the inside. Not much going on in there. Just has the number 95 on top, nicely painted on. It even has the number 51 on the back. Now, I was going to say this one actually appears in Cars 3, but technically it really doesn't. Because first of all, the piston cup hat that he has at the Florida 500, it is much bigger than this one, and it's like a slightly different color. And I'm pretty sure it doesn't have the 51 on the back, because that 51 logo technically wouldn't have been invented at that time, so pretty sure it's not completely movie accurate. But either way, still a new Mater, still a new diecast, and it looks pretty darn nice, I would say. This whole part is just a plastic piece, of course. And yeah, unfortunately, he doesn't have a plastic mouth plate, which is good. But this part is plastic, like I said. The back is plastic, so there's quite a lot of plastic on him. And of course, the rubber mirrors and the rubber tow cable. But moving on to the base here, made in Vietnam, as you can see. It's all brown, and there's his date stamp, 2639SD. And of course, he has 6 tires. And he's got all his classic Mater Towing and Salvage Radiator Springs logos. But this one definitely reminds me of the Chinese one because it has this little indent decal here, which he got from Cars 2. And for some reason, whenever they make a Thailand Mater, they never include that. So I don't know why. But I do want to show off this Mater, which is the Team 95 and 51 Mater. And it just has this cool raised suspension here, as you can see. Got a brand new expression and a new hat. And of course, it has the number 51 logo next to it. Now, this Mater actually has a bit of a story to it because it was supposed to be released in the fan favorites line, and just as a single, I'd assume, or even a deluxe, maybe. I'm not really sure because it is pretty tall. But for whatever reason, Mattel decided to cancel not just this Mater, but the whole line. So yeah, this one unfortunately got booted, including a few others like Flo, Red, Lizzie, and even pit crew member Fillmore. But that one was not that big of a deal because, of course, he's been released before. He was supposed to be a slightly different variant, but him and this Team 95 and 51 Mater both ended up getting released in 2021. Pit crew member Fillmore as a single, and this one as a deluxe. But, of course, it looks very different because it's a Thailand-made variant. So you can just tell, of course, there's a lot more metal. This whole back section here is metal. I mean, you can just tell the coloring differences. It's insanely different. So much darker. It looks much better, to be honest, but of course, just more detailed in general. But I'm glad that they actually included the red dots for the lights and a little silver one up there. For some reason, they didn't do that one. Well, that's nice, because China never used to do that for some reason. They would just leave it all brown. Windows seem to be a bit different. This one here from Vietnam actually has a silver painted headlight rather than a detailed one, so that kind of is a downgrade. But Thailand always does a great job with making Mater, so it's really no surprise that it looks better. This one doesn't look too bad though, I wouldn't say. And I thought, might as well compare them to the normal Chinese Mater. Like I said, it's all the coloring differences. It is quite different though. Definitely much darker on the front end of things. Engine and all that good stuff. Of course, on the sides, a little bit darker, I would say. Not as drastic as Chinese to Thailand, but still, definitely a little bit of an upgrade, I would say. But I got a regular Vietnam Mater from an 11 pack with Bruce Miller, and that one just looks absolutely disgusting. The eyes, I don't know, something's wrong with it. It's very blurry, not very nice looking, very cheap. But yeah, anyways, that's enough for Mater. He does look really cool though. Let's jump on over to Fabulous Lightning McQueen here. Of course, a very cool, notable release from Cars 3. It would have been nice if they would have included Fabulous McQueen with headset, who actually possibly was going to be released later on as a single, but I'm not sure. I think he was canceled. Or maybe not. Maybe they were just a custom I saw, I forget. Either way, of course, he's all decked out, tributing Doc Hudson. Fabulous Lightning McQueen logo on the side. Of course, the 95. Rusty's logo on the hood there. I love how there's no circle around it. It's just the cursive Rusty's font. Very nice and simplistic. 95's on top. The Lightning McQueen signature as well. Always nice to see. All the fonts mimic how the Fabulous Hudson Hornet had his design, which is really nice. Even got the nice Rusty logo on the back there, so definitely a nice release. 4 Doc Hudson there on the back, Rusty's, and it even has the Hornet logo for the Hudson Hornet. This is a cool one for sure. This one actually doesn't seem to be all that different from the Chinese release, but we'll compare them in a second. There's the base. Nothing too special though. Made in Vietnam, of course. And yeah, it looks like, well, obviously they're using the slim Cars 3 model of McQueen. I have no idea why they ever decided to switch the McQueen models once Cars 3 came. Because of course he never changes his model in the movie, so I don't understand. I never have understood that one. But here's the Chinese one here on the left. I don't have the Thailand one, unfortunately, but these ones look very similar. I would say that the navy blue color, definitely a little darker. You can kind of like see almost like white lines whenever there's like an indent on the car, like on the hood there. So I don't know, it's a little different. Still a unibody though, no plastic eye plate. I believe the Thailand version has a plastic eye plate, so that would make him look quite a bit different probably. And on the back, nothing too different. Pretty much the same car here. We don't want to show too much of him though, because I actually just reviewed him for the 12 Cars of Christmas series that I did. So let's jump right on over to Team 95 and 51, Maddy McGear, who's not all that different from her regular release, but I must say she looks pretty darn happy and excited. I mean, she just looks different, even though, I don't know, she's probably not all that different. She really just has a new like headpiece, I guess. This one seems to be more like a headband rather than a hat. Now, one thing I don't like is those eyes. They are very blurry, unfortunately. Luckily, she's a unibody though, and she has a completely new expression, of course, which is nice to see. Her mouth is absolutely ginormous. Her eyes seem to be a little bit raised up. And of course, she still has her little 95 flag there on her tiny antenna, and her 2 lightning bolts on the sides. She's a very bubbly, circular car though. Very small, so it's nice that they included the extra accessory. And on the back, there's her license plate. It says The Kid, California on the top. I don't know how she's going to grow into that license plate when she gets older, but I guess she'll have to change it. And she's almost got like this little black, I don't know if it's a spoiler or what it is. Maybe just to protect her from the sun. Maddy McGear is a pretty cool character. She basically replaces Mia and Tia in Cars 3. Which is, I mean, kind of necessary because me and Tia would be a bit old to be supporting McQueen in the same way. But I think it would have been nice if they still would have showed up in the movie. But anyways, here is the regular Chinese variant of Maddy McGear. Like I said, brand new expression. And now she just looks like she's bursting with energy. That's a very nice expression, Mattel. Too bad they screwed up on the eyes, because it would have been perfect if not. But everything else seems to be pretty well the same. Yeah, I would say like all these little accessories here, all in the same spots and everything. One thing I'm noticing though is the rims. Definitely a downgrade. There's a little bit less red paint on them. It just makes them look smaller. I don't know about that. I'm not a big fan of those rims, but license plate seems to be the same. All that stuff, yeah, looks pretty good, Mattel. She even has tiny little side view mirrors. Hard to tell though. Looks like they're made of rubber. Cool little headband though. Before she really just had this little, I wouldn't really call it a hat, but it's like a little 95 on top. And here is the Thailand version, which is pretty well the same. A little bit of a downgrade in quality though. The flag is not as vibrant and red. The eyes, they seem to be alright. The rims are pretty good though on this one. So I don't know. Those rims on the Vietnam one are not doing it for me. The license plate seems to be a bit bigger on the Thailand version, but hard to tell. I'm not really sure. They're also, you know, pretty much the same car. They're also similar. Anyways, that's a nice variant of Maddy. And that one actually does appear in Cars 3 in the end credits when she's taking a picture with McQueen in his fabulous paint job and Dinoco Cruz Ramirez. So this series was a nice way to release some of these more obscure cars that, I mean, you still could have put them in the main line, but I don't know, would have felt a little out of place, I guess. Alright, now jumping on to the best one by far of this 4-pack, we have Team 51 Ramone. Of course, he's all decked out to support Cruz Ramirez in her new Dinoco paint job. And you may be wondering, why is Ramone not supporting McQueen at all? Well, technically he already did that back in 2006 with his Lightning Ramone paint job. But I would say he went all out with this Cruz one a little bit more than he did with McQueen, especially because he just met her. Seems a little strange. But he has the Dinoco logo, the 51 logo, and even has Cruz Ramirez's name painted on the side there. It's kind of interesting that they chose to do a lightning bolt on the side though, because Cruz doesn't have a lightning bolt on her design. If it was me, I probably would have put the dinosaur on the side like it is on the front. Nice big Dinoco logo though. Same one, seems to be. Actually, no, I'm looking at Cruz right now. Here she is. Cruz doesn't even have that logo on the front, so kind of interesting there. She has a more modern, just slanted Dinoco text logo. Of course, she has that big number 51 with the Apatosaurus, or whatever type of dinosaur that is. Brachiosaurus, one of them. And on the back, there's that logo. They just kind of took it off the back of Cruz, put it on the front of Ramone. Nice little side-by-side comparison of the two, though. But yeah, technically, all the blue paint on Cruz should be metallic blue. And they ended up fixing that in 2018. I do have that version. But this Ramone seems to be based off of the older version of Cruz, which is okay. It still looks good. We've seen many metallic Ramones, so we don't really need another one. Seems like he just has his normal Ramone expression. Well, here's the Thailand regular Ramone here to show. Different expression from this one, but we've seen this expression used on other Ramones before, I know that. Nothing really on the front, just nice vibrant yellow paint. It was definitely darker than I thought it would be. I thought it would be more like a lemon yellow. And he does have new rims as well. They're completely silverized now, rather than having the gold in the middle. So that's kind of nice that they changed it. I didn't expect that. They almost never change Ramone's rims. It reminds me of like a cheerleader paint job or something like that. Yeah, I've got the number 51 there over the wheel well. Pretty darn cool. I like this design. I think I could use a few more decals maybe, like on the back. Could have wrote Dinoco again or something, but It makes sense for Ramone. He likes to keep things simplistic. Of course, he's not going to be, like, I don't know why he would support Dinoco. Of course, he's more so supporting Cruz Ramirez. On the very top there, of course, he has those little, like, pinstriping yellow lines there. Never understood how Ramone is able to paint himself using only his tires. It never really made sense. But he does a very good job at it. So he must have learned somehow. Here's the base. I think I forgot to show the base on Maddy, so we'll have to show that later. Made in Vietnam, of course. And this Ramone actually looks spot on. It looks identical to the Chinese release of this Team 51 Ramone, which is available as a single, like I said. I'm not really noticing any differences to that one. And of course, we can't show Ramone without his nice little motor oil can here. Has the classic motor oil logo there. They've used on many cars items before. It's not the first motor oil can we've gotten. It even has a bunch of text on the back. Pretty nicely detailed, I must say. Can't really make out what it says, but it's cool that they detailed it that much. Has a nice little straw for Ramone to drink from. Yeah, not the best accessory I've ever seen. It's pretty small, but it's nice that they included something at least. Anyways, let's get all the other cars back in here now for a nice little group shot at the end. Here's Maddy McGear, of course. I wanted to show her on the base. Almost forgot to do that. So I know some people like to see the base, and I always forget to show them sometimes. So I like to make sure I don't forget to do that. There's Fabulous McQueen, of course, and Team 95 Mater. Now my favorite one from this set here, I mean, it has to be Team 51 Ramone, because he's just all decked out, brand new paint job, whereas the other ones really just have a new accessory. It's still cool though, and like I said, they're all new variants. This is a really nice pack for me to get, especially because, like I said, I don't have any of the other fan favorites diecast. So, who knows, maybe some more of the fan favorites cars will be uncancelled in the future, because there were some really cool ones in this series. It would be nice to see them actually get a release. Like Flo, she had this really cool Dinoco visor with some flags in the back. Red was pretty boring, actually. He just had a few flags by his ladder, so nothing too exciting there. And then Lizzie, she actually had this really cool hat, I believe. Either themed to 95 or 51 or something like that, or both. It was really cool, though. There's a lot of nice cars that could have been released from this series. Unfortunately, they didn't, because Mattel canceled it. Mattel likes to cancel things. They canceled the Precision Series line, and they canceled the Fan Favorites line, and who knows, they'll probably cancel other exciting lines in the future, too. They're bound to do it. But, either way, at least we got a few nice cars out of it. At least they didn't cancel this Ramone, because he's by far the coolest car from this series. Hopefully, eventually, I could get a few more Fan Favorites cars. There's not that many left, though. There's really only these 4, and then I think 3 others. Cruz, Sarge, and Sheriff. But Sheriff's pretty cool. Sarge really just has the same hat as Mater, so he's not that exciting. And then Cruz, of course, just has the addition of her plastic Dinoco tool cart, which is kind of nice. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see y'all next time on the Cars Garage.